What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Big Show Sports Podcast. I'm sorry I'm late. I was on another show called Unscripted. It was a good show, but after the show, I got distracted. I can't lie about that. We had great topics, so I know y'all are tired of seeing my face, but hey, this is what I love to do. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I really appreciate it. If y'all would just go to the site here on YouTube at Big Shaw Sports and hit that subscribe button just one time, like, leave a comment or whatnot. If there's anything you want me to speak on, just let me know. But let's just dive in right now. I'm not going to be long this time, I promise. So let's talk about right now the greatest NBA coach of all time. Now, when you think of the NBA coach of all time, the NBA coach of all time, who do you think of? Who do you think of? Do you think of Pat Riley? Do you think of Lenny Wilkins? Do you think of Rudy T? Who do you think of? Phil Jackson? Who comes to mind? A lot of coaches come to mind. Pop. If to the young people, that's Greg Popovich. I think I said his last name right. He was still is a great coach. But a lot of people would say the greatest coach of all time would be Red Auerbach. I think I said his name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these people's names, but to me, the greatest coach, it could be Pat Riley. Pat Riley took a lot of guys to the promised land. He took guys all the way there. He was that guy. Some would argue with you and say Rudy T is the best coach of all time in the NBA. These are great coaches. Can you go wrong? No, you can't really go wrong. You can't go wrong and have old Red at the top and Phil Jackson second, the Wizard. You're gonna have him at the second spot, but I wouldn't put him no lower than number two. But he is, to me, my favorite guy. But let's get to the greatest top 10 NBA coaches of all time. This is my list. I don't know what everyone else's list looks like, but this is my list. And I'm gonna start at 10. I don't get in all the stats because I don't have the time right now to get into all the stats because I'm gonna talk on something else after the greatest coach of all time. And I have to go back and have to YouTube some of these coaches because a lot of these coaches was before my time. So let's start at number 10, John Kidna. He coached Minnesota Lakers, of the Minnesota Lakers for 11 seasons and total record of 423 and 302. So he was the youngest coach. He took the Lakers at the age of 31, and he coached 6 Hall of Famers and was elected to the Hall of Fame as a coach. Like I said, I had to Google, do my research about this guy. But again, this is my list. I don't know, like I said again, I don't know everybody else's, but this is my list. And at number 9, again, he's a great coach. He was in my generation of time, and I had the opportunity of seeing this coach bring the Houston Rockets to back-to-back championships with Hakeem Olajuwon, Robert Horry, Sam Cassell, Vernon Maxwell, and guys of that nature. The Houston Rockets was a great team then. Hakeem Olajuwon was awesome, and Con Drexler too. These guys was awesome players, especially Big Shot Rob. But we're gonna talk about him a little later on, sometime next week. But Rudy T was one of the best modern coaches of that time or ever. You know, he coached 13 years, of course, with the Rockets and Lakers. His record is 527 and 116 record. The winning percentage 559. He took the Rockets to back-to-back championships in 93, 94, and 94 and 95. He was the head coach of the 2000 U.S. men's basketball team that won the gold medal. So yes, he was great. He was great. And number 7 is Chuck Daly. He also led the Pistons back-to-back titles in the 80s. In his 14-year career as a coach, he was 638 and 437. And he had a 593 winning percentage. He also coached this team here, the 1992 U.S. men's basketball team, the original team. He was in the Hall of Fame in 1994. And Lenny Wilkins, another great coach. Lenny Wilkins is the all-time leader in wins in the NBA, head coach, 32 seasons. He coached the Sonics, Blazers, Cavaliers, and the Atlanta Hawks, the Raptors, the Knicks. He had the winning percentage. It's up there, guys. It's up there. Great coach. He was the 93-94 coach of the year while leading the Cavs to 57 wins. Up next, number 5, one of my favorite coaches. Okay, he coached one of the greatest players in NBA history. Yes, I've said it. He coached one of the greatest players, and that's Allen Iverson. So he was one of the best coaches and bringing the best out of bad teams. And that's what he did in his 25-year career in the NBA. So he had the percentage of 577. He is the only coach ever to lead a college team to a championship and an NBA team to a championship. That's Larry Brown. He's my number 5 guy. Let's just keep on going. Now, we're at the nitty-gritty now. We're at number 4. I have to flip these two because it's disrespectful to have him at that number. So at number 4 is Greg Popovich. Pops, that's what we call him. He's been one of the best coaches ever over the last 10 seasons, 13-year career. Listen to this. He had the Spurs to 4 championships, 633 wins with just 305 losses. He was the NBA Coach of the Year in 2002 and 2003, and he has 11 consecutive seasons with a winning percentage of 646 or better. And he will be in the Hall of Fame as a coach in the future. Okay? Now, my number 3 guy. He is one of the greatest coaches, masterminds, Pat Riley. Pat Riley. He was the head coach of the Showtime Lakers in the 80s. 24-year career as a coach of the Lakers, Knicks, and Heat. I know when I was coming up, I seen him only as being a coach of the Heat. That's when the Heat and Knicks didn't like each other in that time. And he won 5 championships, 4 with the Lakers, 1 with the Heat. He has an impressive, 636 for him. He won the Coach of the Year 3 times in 90, 93, and 97. He led his team to the playoffs every season of his career except one. So, the number 2 coach. Here it is. Number 2. The man of Boston. The godfather of the NBA. He was the man of the Boston Celtics for over 30 years as a coach and executive. In his career as a coach, he led the Celtics to 9 championships. 9. 8 titles from 59 to 66. It's a long time. Winning percentage, 659, with a record of 823 and 426. That is awesome. He won Coach of the Year, and he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1969. And ladies and gentlemen, number 1, one of the greatest coaches that I've ever seen coach the game of basketball. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. The Boston Celtics had stars, too. It was more than just Bill Russell on that team. But Phil the Wizard Jackson. Phil the Wizard Jackson. He is the greatest coach of all time. The greatest coach of all time. Greatest coach. But in some people's eyes, you can put Pat Riley at number 2. Then who will be the best coach out of Pat Riley and Phil Jackson? But ladies and gentlemen, Phil Jackson is that guy. It's no need to even get into what he's done. He's done enough. He has 9 championships as a coach. 9 championships. He has had 4 of the greatest players. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Shaq, and Kobe. But we can't deny what he's done. He's accomplished. Listen to this. Now, the man of Boston ain't even as high. 980 to 418 in its 18 years of coaching. He owns an all-time winning percentage of 703, which is the highest ever. He won Coach of the Year in 95-96. So he was in the Hall of Fame in 2007. But this is my list here. You know, like I said, some people they could flip the list around. They could say, well, hey, we could put Riley at 1. Why would you do that? But if he's your guy, and if you're loyal to that guy, then absolutely. Well, I'm at number 1. But let's switch gears to the best center in the NBA. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's Shaq. No. Shaq was the hardest to guard. Nobody can really hold him. You know, he was just that good. But ladies and gentlemen, the greatest center in the NBA to me, notice I said me. I didn't say them. I said me. Moses Malone. The great late Moses Malone. Let me put some respect on his name. But nobody talks about these guys. Nobody talks about the Bill Russells. Nobody talks about the Wilt Chamberlains, the Patrick Ewings, the guys of that nature. He's always Shaq. But was he the best center in the NBA? Was he the best center in the NBA? Some would say yes. Some would say no. But I ran on the list. I'm going to read from this list to where I have in my hands. This is not my list. But do you agree? Well, y'all agree? Number 1 is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm going 1 to 10. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Wilt Chamberlain. Number 3, Bill Russell. Number 4, Shaquille O'Neal. Number 5, Akeem Olajuwon. Number 6, my guy, Moses Malone. Now, Moses Malone was outstanding. He really was. And if anybody would argue me down and say that Moses Malone was not a great center, then what do you know? You see, a follower is going to say Shaq, 9 out of 10. That's what they're going to say. Of course, you're going to say Shaq, so they won't feel left out. They won't feel bad. You got to go with your mind. You can't go wrong with saying Akeem Olajuwon. You can't. You just can't. You can't go wrong with saying Wilt Chamberlain. You can't go wrong with saying Patrick Ewing. You just can't. Because all these guys were great players. These guys was great. Now, the NBA has gotten away with that. They're putting guys that's 7 foot that need to be posting up, shooting threes. They're going outside. Put the big men back in the paint where they belong. That's what we need. That's what we need. Guys like David Robinson. Nobody speak about David Robinson anymore. Don't forget him. Again, Patrick Ewing, no championships, of course. 11-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA selection, 3-time All-Defense selection, Rookie of the Year in 85, 86, Hall of Famer. Championships, absolutely none. He has 0, nada. But he's in the Hall of Fame. He was a force. He was that guy. No, he was that guy. You know, he was tough, man. Then you got George Melkin. Gotta go back in time if you don't know who that guy is. Just go back in time and study him. And Bill Walton. And no one talks about Bill Russell. Bill Walton. So, but he was good. He got 2 championships. So, could he be a great? Probably is. So, a lot of, like I've said, people will argue you down with that. You know, could we put Dwight Howard in that conversation? You know, of being a great center. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He is. Dwight Howard is going to the Hall of Fame. And before I go, let's speak on college football for a quick bit. We're not going to hold on it long. Watch out for this young man here. His name is Darian Dunn. Watch out for this young man there. He's from Oakdale. He signed with Texas, the Texas Longhorns. So very excited to see what he's going to bring to the Longhorn Nation. Will will they put him in and start him into that lineup? We're going to see. He came from McNeese. Now he's with the big dogs. So I'm sure he can handle the pressure that's going to come with playing in a big conference like the Big 12. The Big 12 is a big conference, and those guys are pretty good. And I think he will also do great. So congratulations on Darian Dunn for going to the Texas Longhorns and my Alabama Crimson Tide. Remember, we have some great college football games coming on this weekend. First, we're going to start off with the granddaddy of them all, the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Florida Gators. I don't know why I got Florida State on my mind, but I got Florida State on my mind for some strange reason. But it's gonna be a good game. It's not gonna be a shellacking, but it's gonna be a pretty good game because both teams don't have a defense at all. They just don't. It doesn't work in their favor on the defense side of things. So it's gonna be great. Then we got the rematch of Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus the Clemson Tigers. This game can go up or it can go down. Which one will be the upset? Because somebody's getting beat. Somebody's getting beat. Yeah, Ohio State and Northwestern, you can poop on that one. It's not even going to be a contest. It's not going to be a contest. But like I said, guys, I know it was short and sweet, but don't forget to like and subscribe to the Big Shaw Sports. It's just Big Shaw Sports on YouTube. Big Shaw Sports. Subscribe, like, comment, even share it with your friends. Share with your friends. I know sometimes I don't be exciting. I don't be that guy that's jumping around and throwing my chair. But just enjoy it, man. And come in. And one more other thing, the Raiders, I think they're winning. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to be short and sweet. Sometimes I know I can talk people out of their socks, their shoes, talk you to sleep. But I just want to thank y'all for listening to the Big Shaw Sports podcast. And I will be back tomorrow. I will keep going until y'all are tired of seeing my face. So thank y'all for listening to the Big Shaw Sports podcast with Kelston Jones, everybody. Y'all have a great night, and thank you for listening.